Hey People's Church, for the past 8 years we've partnered with and supported Servant's Heart Ministries in the Dominican Republic. 7 times now we've also sent a team to support the work they're doing. What was different about this year though was that typically we would go and we'd work on a home for a family in need, and then we'd go back to where we're staying, and we'd go back the next day, work on it again, and go back to where we're staying, and we repeat the process. And there was some ministry happening in other areas in the evenings, places where they had rented space. But this time with the community center, man, it was different. It was the hub of activity. There was youth group on Friday nights, there was church on Sunday, there was kids outreach, music lessons, medical checks for community kids, and man, the list goes on. So I just want to say a big thank you. Thank you to everyone at People's Church, because I don't know if you're aware, but 90% of that community center was built and paid for by the generosity of folks from People's Church. So thank you so much. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see highlights of the continuing construction, ministry, and outreach from our missions team. And today, we're going to begin with the construction.
I went on the Dominican trip this year, and this is probably my 4th or 5th trip.
I went with my wife. We had both, neither of us had ever gone on a mission trip before.
We decided to go on the mission trip very last minute.
I really didn't know how I was going to make it happen, but when I first heard about the trip, I just knew I had to be on it.
I didn't know anybody but my parents at the time, so I thought it might be a great experience to get to know the team.
My wife has an amazing ability to put me in places I don't want to be. One of them was this trip.
I am always into adventure, trying new things out, and this was our very first mission trip.
And she says, Frank, you're gonna love it. Anyway, so I did go with some serious misgivings.
We left very early in the morning. We met at the church at, I think, 4 a.m.
We got on the plane. I actually sat next to people that I didn't know, and it turns out as I was leaving the airport, they were on the same mission trip, so that was kind of cool.
Once we were there, I was so impressed with how quickly people went to the task of doing it.
Everybody comes to the table with different skill sets, and no matter what your skill set was, it was utilized.
I really didn't know how useful we could be.
All of the people doing it were very nice and super accommodating, willing to teach you and willing to help you learn how to do things so that you can help in the best way possible.
Carlos is an iron worker, so he put his iron work in and he taught us all how to bend steel.
And then Rebecca, one of the directors, I guess someone must have told her, well, Frank could fix things. Could I repair some chairs that were wobbly and not, basically falling apart?
Amelia really wanted to be on the construction team, so the first day out we went and, people, there was like pickaxes and machetes, and I was just like flinching, and somebody was like, stop being such a mom and just let them work. And I was like, I can't watch this,
We were building a wall out of cinder blocks and cement so that the children there in Dominican would have a safe area to play in, and I think the long-term goal is to put a playground there. Willie and Tony and Sean even let me do some bricklaying, which was very brave of them. So I was able to do that and experience that, which was really cool.
So I'm getting set up, and there's Teo, he's bellowing at our crew, cuadrante, 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 and no one knows what the guy wants.
The people from Dominican speak Spanish, people from Haiti speak Creole, so similar to French. I speak neither, so I was doing weird sign language to communicate with them.
They were digging this trench, and I said, I think what he wants is he wants your walls to be nice and square and straight.
It was great. We were able to excavate some areas that needed to be done. Thankfully, we were able to get a digger in there after we tried manually for a couple of days. We redid the front porch, concrete area.
So we were working, I got everything set up, and I'm listening, and I'm hearing the most joyful noise. Children singing, excuse me, but I get a little emotional about when you think these kids come from seriously underprivileged backgrounds. But the center rescues these children and they bring them in. And I'm working, I'm cutting and assembling chairs and found things that I needed. And I hear them laughing and I think, Lord, I think I'm in the right place at the right time.
On another day, the construction team split up and there was a house nearby that needed a concrete floor poured because they just had dirt floors.
They painstakingly carried concrete uphill and downhill, 100+ yards to pour a concrete floor for a house that they're doing for somebody that's affiliated with the program. So lots to do from a construction perspective. We painted at the pregnancy center. I mean, there was just a lot going on. The team did an amazing job. They really did. Everybody worked really, really hard.
It was really cool to see the progress of the work. We had to start literally from nothing, and then when we left at the end of the trip, the whole wall was finished and it was ready to go for the playground.
So we were outside from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, and record high heats in May in Dominican, so 45 degrees plus humidity, sweating, mixing concrete by hand and doing lots of hard work. And it might not sound very glamorous or anything, but it turned into just a really fun experience.
When I talk about this to different individuals, I always describe it as going away for a week where I never work so hard, I never sweat so much, and I never feel so good.
Everybody pitched in, to the youngest to the oldest. There was no judgments, and everybody worked hard.
Everyone pitched in, everyone worked, and everyone enjoyed themselves. There's no other word for it. We were down there not to holiday. We were down there to, in fact, help others.
And I think lives were changed, not just with us, but we get to see the change that the work that we do, how it comes about, how it's reflected in the children's lives and even in the ministry team. They're so grateful for what we're able to do.